The cursed doll that seemed ordinary but slowly turned a child into the source of terror for her family. The film begins by showing a woman named Amber who wakes up in a weakened and confused state inside an old abandoned hospital building. Her hands and feet are tightly bound, and on her forehead there is a mysterious carved symbol. Amber desperately tries to use all her strength to free herself from the ropes binding her hands. While Amber struggles to escape, a man named Henry is revealed as the one who kidnapped and tortured her. It turns out Henry is a serial killer known for his cruelty and sadism. He often tortured his victims before ending their lives, and now Henry is a fugitive, wanted by the police for taking the lives of many women. However, Henry's madness does not stop there. He exhibits strange behavior by chanting incantations in a foreign language while holding 4 mysterious dolls that resemble voodoo dolls. One by one, he places the dolls into a wooden box. While Henry is busy chanting, he suddenly hears a noise. It turns out Amber has managed to escape and is desperately searching for a way out of the place. Of course, Henry will not let Amber go so easily. During her escape attempt, Amber manages to get out of the building and encounters a police officer named Doyle, who happens to be patrolling the area near the abandoned hospital. Realizing he has finally found Amber after she had been missing for so long, Doyle immediately reports to headquarters to send backup to the hospital. Unfortunately, disaster strikes before help arrives. Henry suddenly appears and brutally kills Doyle by drilling into his head.
This road near the hospital. I got her. Please. You're safe. Amber, right?
Amber, witnessing the horrific scene, can only cry and try to flee, but she is captured again. Just as Henry is about to kill her, the police arrive at the perfect time. Two detectives, Matt and Darcy, manage to kill Henry. While searching the hospital, Matt and Darcy notice a symbol identical to the one carved into Amber's forehead. Not only that, they also discover a wooden box containing Henry's 4 mysterious dolls. They decide to take Henry's belongings as evidence. As they are about to leave the hospital, a woman named Della knocks on their car window.
Still talking about this? There's nothing new.
It is revealed that Della is the woman who raised Henry after his father died. She has come to request the return of the box containing the 4 dolls. However, Matt refuses to hand it over, explaining that the box will be confiscated by the police as evidence. After making sure all the evidence was secured, Matt and Darcy left the abandoned hospital with a sense of relief, as the major case that had consumed their lives for the past 3 years was finally over. For the last 3 years, Matt had been fully occupied with his work as a detective, hunting Henry and trying to uncover the mystery behind the series of murders. His dedication not only cost him his time, but also the family he loved. His marriage to his wife Amy ended when Amy decided she could no longer live with a man who always put work above everything else. The divorce left a deep wound for Matt, even though he understood Amy's reasons. As a detective, Matt felt his duty was to bring justice to the victims. Now, with the Henry case closed, Matt hurried to Amy's house, not as a husband, but simply as a father who wanted to see his only daughter, Chloe. For Matt, Chloe was the only source of hope that kept him going after everything he had sacrificed over the years. Looking at Chloe, he realized she had grown into a beautiful young girl. At that moment, Matt understood he would never be able to turn back time or fix everything he had broken. After hugging Chloe tightly, Matt asked her to get into his car because he wanted to talk to Amy. Just as he was about to speak with Amy, a man named Ethan appeared, revealed to be Amy's new boyfriend. Ethan's presence made the situation a little awkward. Amy, who was preparing to leave with Chloe and Ethan to take care of her accessory shop, asked Matt to come another time. With mixed emotions, Matt had no choice but to accept Amy's request, even though he truly wished to spend more time with Chloe. Unbeknownst to Matt, while he was talking with Amy and Ethan, Chloe noticed the mysterious box containing the 4 dolls in the back seat of Matt's car. Thinking it was a gift from her father, Chloe secretly took the box without telling anyone. At the shop, Chloe, who had a strong interest in accessories, came up with the idea of turning the 4 dolls into necklaces. She believed the doll's unique design would attract customers to her mother's store. Excited, Chloe removed each doll from the box and crafted them into 4 necklaces. However, while making the last necklace, Chloe felt something unusual. Her body broke out in a cold sweat, and suddenly she screamed hysterically.
Okay, baby, just listen to Mommy's voice.
Her screams drew the attention of several customers in the shop. Seeing Chloe in such a disturbing condition, some customers felt pity and tried to help in any way they could. Eventually, some of them decided to buy the necklaces she had made. The first customers were a couple named Connor and Trisha. The second was a woman in a wheelchair named Brittany. Not only them, but Amy's best friend Becca, who happened to be at the shop, also bought one. That left only one necklace unsold. Amy decided to purchase the last one, planning to give it to Chloe as a gift, hoping it would bring her daughter some happiness. Amy chose not to put the necklace around Chloe's neck, worried it might harm her while she slept. Instead, Amy carefully tied it around Chloe's wrist and left her daughter's room so she could rest peacefully.
Mom, can I have my blanket?
Of course. The very last Chloe Williams original.
After Amy left, Chloe suddenly woke up with her face transformed into something terrifying. Chloe, who seemed to be possessed by something, brutally killed their pet dog without hesitation. The loud noise and the dog's agonizing screams woke Amy and Ethan. When they rushed to the kitchen, the floor was covered in blood, coming from the mangled body of their dead pet. Realizing something was terribly wrong, Amy and Ethan began searching for Chloe, who was no longer in her room. Following her bloody footprints, they eventually found her. Strangely, Chloe was acting in a disturbing manner, and suddenly she attacked Ethan with a knife. Fortunately, Ethan managed to wrestle the knife away from her. Knowing something was seriously wrong with Chloe, Amy and Ethan decided to take her to the hospital, hoping the medical team could provide answers or at least treat her, as she seemed completely unaware of what she had done. The doctor asked Amy and Ethan to wait outside while the medical staff examined Chloe.
Course of Topamax, 150 milligrams, last dose.
What do we got?
Meanwhile, elsewhere, Connor and Trisha, the couple who had just purchased one of Chloe's necklaces, pulled over at a roadside convenience store. Worried because she was 3 weeks late on her period, Trisha asked Connor to buy a pregnancy test. Though reluctant, Connor agreed and went inside to purchase it. But just as he was about to pay, Connor suddenly began acting strangely. His face turned pale, just like Chloe's had earlier. Out of nowhere, Connor grabbed a pair of scissors from the cashier's counter and murdered the store clerk. Detectives Matt and Darcy were assigned to investigate the clerk's death. During the investigation, Matt discovered a strange necklace being worn by Connor. Reviewing the CCTV footage from multiple cameras in the store, Matt and Darcy clearly saw Connor killing the clerk. Shortly after the murder, Connor even drew the same symbol that Henry had once carved at the abandoned hospital. Moments later, the store owner arrived on the scene and shot Connor dead. Matt and Darcy were left puzzled, questioning the connection between Connor and Henry. How could Connor draw the exact same symbol Henry had used? To find answers, Matt began interrogating Trisha, Connor's girlfriend, the only person who might know the link between Connor and Henry. During the interrogation, Trisha admitted she did not know the store clerk or Henry, as Matt had suggested. She explained that she and Connor had only come to the city for vacation. On their way, they had stopped at the convenience store to buy a pregnancy test, and it was there that the murder occurred. Matt asked whether Connor had ever used illegal drugs. Trisha denied it, insisting Connor was a good man. Though hesitant, Matt then showed her the symbol Connor had drawn at the convenience store. Trisha had no idea what the symbol meant. Since she truly knew nothing, she was allowed to leave.
The way he attacked that man, there had to be something personal. You ever seen this symbol before?
We've never even been here before. What is that?
After finishing the interrogation, Matt received a call from Amy, who told him Chloe was currently at the hospital. Without many details, Matt immediately rushed there to check on his daughter's condition. Upon arrival, Amy explained what had happened at home. Chloe had suddenly displayed bizarre, unexplainable behavior and even killed their pet dog. A doctor named Dr. Wells urged Matt to stay calm, assuring him that Chloe's condition was now under control. She had been sedated so she would not harm herself or others. Deeply worried, Matt demanded an explanation from Dr. Wells about what could cause Chloe to act so extremely. How could an 8-year-old child kill a dog so brutally? After conducting some initial tests, Dr. Wells suspected that Chloe was showing symptoms of epilepsy. This explanation left Matt confused and skeptical, as Chloe had no history of epilepsy. For now, the most important thing was to let Chloe rest, while Dr. Wells continued monitoring her condition. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Amy's best friend Becca had just heard that Chloe was being treated at the hospital. The news worried her, and she planned to visit Chloe soon. Before heading out, Becca was busy helping her boyfriend, Toddy, who was getting ready for work. She also placed one of Chloe's necklaces around Toddy's neck, believing the accessory might bring him good luck and serve as a sign of support for Chloe during her time in the hospital. But as Toddy prepared to leave, something strange happened. He suddenly began acting erratically, grabbed a pair of garden shears, and murdered a janitor. Not only that, Toddy also tried to kill Becca. At that moment, Becca was on the phone with Matt asking about Chloe's condition when she was shocked to see Toddy covered in blood. Horrified, Becca screamed hysterically. Matt heard her screams through the call and immediately rushed to Becca's house to make sure she was safe. Feeling threatened, Becca chose to hide in the bathroom until the situation felt safe. She locked the door and tried to calm herself. But it wasn't long before Toddy, looking completely deranged, began breaking down the bathroom door. Cornered, Becca frantically searched for something she could use to fend him off. Her eyes landed on a hairdryer lying on the vanity, already plugged into the outlet. Without hesitation, she switched it on and let it heat up, hoping it could serve as a temporary weapon to hold off Toddy as he forced his way in. Fortunately, Matt arrived just in time and began calling out Becca's name.
I'm walking towards you. Todd, Becca!
Realizing Matt's presence, Toddy suddenly retreated and disappeared. Becca felt relieved at Matt's arrival, but in a moment of distraction, Toddy appeared behind her and killed Becca with the garden shears. Witnessing Toddy's brutal act, Matt had no choice but to shoot him dead when Toddy fought back.
Jesus.
After Toddy's death, Matt cautiously approached the body and noticed a necklace made from one of the dolls hanging around Toddy's neck. The necklace was identical to the one he had seen on Connor at the convenience store. This discovery strengthened Matt's belief that the dolls were directly connected to the chain of tragic events. Rushing back to his car, Matt checked for the box containing Henry's 4 dolls, only to find it missing. He immediately realized Chloe must have taken it, probably believing the dolls were a gift. Aware that all this danger stemmed from the mysterious dolls Chloe had turned into necklaces, Matt quickly rushed to the hospital. By now, he had collected 2 dolls from Connor and Toddy, leaving only 2 more to find. At the hospital, Matt met Dr. Wells, who explained Chloe's condition was deteriorating. There had been no significant improvement, and she was now in a critical state. Despite the best efforts of Dr. Wells and her team, the results were discouraging, and Chloe's illness remained a mystery with no clear diagnosis. Matt then asked Amy about the whereabouts of the remaining 2 necklaces. He explained the dolls were dangerous talismans that should never be worn. Amy revealed that Chloe had already turned the dolls into necklaces and sold them to a few people. One of them had been worn by Chloe herself, but when she was admitted to the hospital, the medical staff removed everything from her body, including the necklace. The other necklace had been purchased by a woman named Brittany, who was in a wheelchair. Matt then asked Amy to track down the necklace that Chloe had worn, while he would go to Della to inquire about the dolls.
Amy's best friend.
Yeah, I think there's someone we need to talk to. Did you tell her about Becca?
I told her no.
When Matt arrived, Della already seemed to know the purpose of his visit. She immediately spoke about the danger they were facing. Della revealed that the dolls carried a great threat, and now that they had been spread around, she could feel they had already claimed many lives. Matt questioned why Della had asked for the dolls back earlier, and what made them so dangerous. Growing increasingly uneasy, Della warned Matt never to touch the dolls carelessly. She explained that the dolls were once ancient artifacts believed to possess extraordinary healing powers. However, their power turned into a curse after they were given to Henry. Della began recounting Henry's past. At first, Henry had been a kind and quiet child, but after his father's death, his personality began to change. Feeling sorry for him, and as a collector of mystical objects inherited through her family, Della gave Henry the 4 dolls, hoping they would help him cope with his trauma. But as Henry grew into adulthood, he misused the dolls. He became a notorious psychopath known for killing many women, and the dolls that were once used for healing were transformed into cursed talismans. Della explained that whoever possessed the dolls would be consumed by the dark energy within them. The longer they carried the dolls, the more the energy would take control of their minds, turning them into violent beings. At first, Matt did not believe her, but when Della forced him to hold one of the dolls, he immediately felt the negative energy just as she had described.
Help me, Daddy.
Della warned that the curse could only be broken if Chloe and all 4 dolls were brought to her before dawn. If Matt failed, Chloe's life would be in grave danger. Realizing the urgency of gathering the remaining dolls and bringing them to Della, Matt and Darcy quickly set out to track down Brittany's house. On the way, Matt called Amy, asking her to search for the doll that Chloe had once worn. He explained that these dolls were not ordinary, but dangerous objects responsible for the terrible things that had happened to their owners. Though Amy was skeptical at first, Matt insisted, convincing her to help find the missing doll. They had little time left, and if the doll could not be recovered, Chloe's life would be lost. After hearing Matt's plea, Amy hurried to the medical staff who had removed Chloe's belongings at the hospital. Meanwhile, Brittany was at home with her daughter, Hilda. Because Brittany used a wheelchair, Hilda was responsible for caring for her, including helping her bathe. But something horrific began to unfold. Hilda suddenly started acting strangely. Unaware of the danger, Brittany had placed the necklace on Hilda after buying it from the shop. Now, possessed by the doll's dark energy, Hilda pushed Brittany out of her wheelchair and dragged her toward the bathtub. Without hesitation, Hilda tried to drown her mother. Fortunately, Matt and Darcy arrived just in time to stop Hilda before she could kill Brittany. After rendering Hilda unconscious, Matt took the 3rd doll from the necklace she had been wearing. He realized that only 1 doll remained, and retrieving it was the key to breaking the curse and saving Chloe's life. The police and an ambulance arrived at the scene to take Brittany to the hospital for the treatment she needed. While there, Matt suddenly received a call from Amy, who had managed to track down the medical staff who carried Chloe's necklace. Amy urged Matt to come to the hospital immediately. Without hesitation, Matt told Darcy that he had to go retrieve the final necklace at the hospital, while Darcy was asked to stay at Brittany's house and ensure everything was safe. When Matt arrived at the hospital to collect the last necklace, he was shocked to learn that the doll, which should have been attached to it, was no longer there. The medical staff who treated Chloe finally remembered that the doll had been handed over to Ethan, who had been mistaken for Chloe's father. Without wasting time, Matt rushed to Ethan's house, determined to retrieve the doll before it was too late. Realizing that the journey would take him some time, Matt asked Darcy to go instead since she was closer to Ethan's home. Hearing the request, Darcy went to Ethan's house. Upon arriving, Darcy couldn't find Ethan. But in a moment of carelessness, she didn't realize that Ethan, already influenced by the doll he had slipped into his pocket, suddenly appeared from behind. A few moments later, Matt arrived to see Ethan holding Darcy hostage. Matt tried to persuade Ethan to release her, hoping to resolve everything peacefully, but all his efforts were in vain. Ethan brutally killed Darcy by slitting her throat.
What do I... You've always been a better father.
Witnessing his partner's death, Matt had no choice but to kill Ethan. After finally securing the 4th doll, Matt immediately rushed back to the hospital with the intention of taking Chloe away. As he tried to leave, the medical staff attempted to stop him. In a desperate situation, Matt was forced to threaten them with his gun, ensuring no one would block his path. He quickly drove to Della's house, hoping that the woman's instructions would truly save his daughter. Upon arrival, Matt carried Chloe inside and handed over the box containing all 4 dolls as Della had requested. But it turned out that Della had no intention of saving Chloe from the curse. Instead, she drugged Matt, causing his body to weaken and his vision to blur. In his half-conscious state, Della finally revealed her true intentions. She didn't care about Chloe's safety. Her only goal was to reclaim the dolls and cleanse them of their dark corruption. The dolls had once possessed extraordinary healing powers, but Henry's misuse had tainted them with dark energy. Della wanted to restore the dolls to their original state, but the ritual required a great sacrifice. Chloe's pure soul was the only way to purify them. Horrified, Matt, who refused to let his daughter be harmed, struggled to his feet with all his strength, though he eventually collapsed and his gun was thrown aside. Della then picked up a knife, intending to kill Matt so he wouldn't interfere. Matt fought back desperately and managed to turn the tables by stabbing Della. Slowly, he crawled toward the box containing the 4 dolls and threw it into the fireplace. Flames quickly consumed the box and the dolls inside. Wounded, Della tried to retrieve them but was engulfed by the fire instead. Screaming, she ran toward the nearby lake to extinguish the flames burning her body. Meanwhile, Matt sat heartbroken beside his unconscious daughter, fearing the dawn was near and she still hadn't woken up.
It's okay, baby. Okay.
He could only hope that his decision to burn the dolls would end the curse that had tormented Chloe. Moments later, relief and gratitude overwhelmed him when Chloe finally opened her eyes, free at last from the doll's dark influence, and thus the story came to an end.